and have Bree Turner playing a small forward. And then Bree Turner, when she took that jump shot, I was like, you might as well shoot it. And she airballed it by a meter. She airballed a long two by a meter. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. And here is her talking about Indiana and talking about Arizona.
Or just as an opponent tonight?
Yeah, AZ was good to me, but I'm
Marina Mabrey has finally spoken out regarding her controversial collision with Caitlin Clark. The Connecticut Sun player recently broke her silence about the incident that sparked widespread debate across women's basketball circles. The confrontation between Mabrey and Clark became a defining moment early in the season, with many believing it set a concerning precedent for how Clark would be treated by other players throughout the league. The incident appeared to signal to other competitors that aggressive play against Clark might be acceptable, leading to subsequent altercations involving players like Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Sheldon. As discussions around a potential civil rights legal case continue to gain momentum, WNBA athletes are beginning to address their roles in various incidents.
AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front of some fans. But for me, I'm way happier in Indiana.
To be fair, Sophie Cunningham has probably made 7 figures. Like, I'm not joking when I say it. I think $1 million, saying Sophie Cunningham has made $1 million,
Mabrey's situation has drawn particular attention due to the national coverage it received and its potential impact on Clark's early season performance. A recent article published this morning revealed Mabrey's admission that she may have gone too far in her physical confrontation with Clark. The piece explores how the Connecticut Star is now reflecting on her actions during that memorable June 17th game. The incident not only resulted in technical fouls and extensive debate about player treatment, but also contributed to escalating tensions that culminated in Cunningham's dramatic retaliation against Sheldon. That subsequent confrontation became another flashpoint in what many saw as a pattern of targeting behavior.
Is, since joining the Indiana Fever, is undercutting it. It is undercutting it. I would say in the offseason, I would have thought in the offseason that she was going to continue working with the Phoenix Suns. I wouldn't be that surprised if that was the initial plan. She was going to keep doing her broadcast and stuff for the Suns. I would not be surprised if, that got taken away because of the whole lawsuit.
2 days following the original incident, Mabrey was reportedly heard expressing frustration about being in a difficult position regardless of her actions. However, critics argue that there was no justification for the physical contact that sent Clark to the floor. In a recent interview from August 10th with sports journalist Mark Minda, Mabrey provided her perspective on the controversial moment. During the discussion, she acknowledged that the situation escalated beyond what was necessary. Mabrey explained that she initially received only a technical foul for the contact, suggesting the penalty was later increased due to fan reaction rather than the severity of the play itself.
Away because of the whole lawsuit BS thing. The BS lawsuit. Like, I wouldn't be that surprised if they ended up just if the Phoenix Suns and Mercury organizations just completely distance themselves from Sophie Cunningham because of that BS lawsuit. And if you guys don't know what happened in the lawsuit, basically it was a lawsuit. Somebody tried to sue the Mercury organization, and in like a side note, it was brought up that apparently
she maintained that injuring opponents was never her intention and that she doesn't typically target specific players. The Connecticut player attempted to provide context by referencing a previous playoff encounter where Clark had pushed her out of bounds, claiming that competitive play goes both ways. She emphasized that both players had moved past that earlier incident and continued competing. However, critics point out that referencing a year-old playoff incident doesn't justify the more recent confrontation. Mabrey's explanation seemed to suggest that Clark's previous competitive play somehow warranted retaliation.
Note, it was brought up that apparently someone they were trying to sue had an affair with Sophie Cunningham. That had nothing to do. Sophie Cunningham was not in the lawsuit. Her name just got mentioned as like a conversation. And it wasn't even that happened. It was like the person who was starting the lawsuit, heard that rumor from somebody else. Like, I kid you not, like, it was one of the most ridiculous things I think I'd ever seen. Like, actual, like, things that got traction, but
In her concluding remarks, Mabry admitted that while Clark's earlier action was a legitimate basketball play, her own response was probably excessive. She stated that seeing teammates get hit bothers her, but acknowledged that her reaction crossed a line. She insisted that this type of behavior isn't characteristic of her typical play style. The candid nature of Mabry's reflection offers insight into how one of the key figures in this controversy now views the incident that brought her significant attention from WNBA fans. As legal discussions surrounding potential discrimination claims continue to develop, players involved in various incidents with Clark may need to consider their roles in what could become a significant challenge to the league.
that got traction, but, you know, it's the WNBA. They hate Sophie Cunningham, so it is what it is. And one good thing is that Sophie Cunningham did not get booed. She did not get booed. In fairness to her, like, she was nothing but, she's been nothing but positive. When it comes to, well, she was nothing but a positive player in Phoenix. So I don't know why they would boo her.
The ongoing situation has implications not just for individual players like Mabry, but potentially for referees and league officials who oversaw these controversial moments. The controversy has raised questions about whether there was a pattern of insufficient protection for Clark, and whether various incidents throughout the season contributed to a hostile environment. Multiple players who had physical confrontations with Clark during the season may find themselves scrutinized if legal proceedings move forward. Legal experts suggest that if discrimination claims proceed, they could have serious financial implications for the league. The accumulation of incidents involving Clark has created a situation where multiple parties may need to account for their actions and decisions throughout the season.
I don't know why they would boo her. It's not like she walked. She got traded. She got traded, and she hasn't shit-talked the Phoenix Mercury by any chance. She might get booed the next time she's in Phoenix from just saying she prefers Indiana, but heck, I think Sophie Cunningham probably wants to get booed half the time. Like, they were saying, as she continued to talk more shit throughout the entire game, like, the fans went from cheering her to, like, you know, cheering when bad things happen to her. So I'm like, look, that is what it is, and I think Sophie Cunningham.
The referee crews who officiated these games are also facing criticism for their handling of various situations. Many observers believe that more decisive action from officials could have prevented the escalation of tensions that characterized much of Clark's rookie season. As the situation continues to develop, it remains to be seen whether Mabry's acknowledgement of overreacting will be sufficient to address the controversy, or if it represents just the beginning of a larger reckoning within women's professional basketball. The Indiana Fever conducted their initial training session during what has become known as the Caitlin Clark uncertain availability period. This situation presents challenges since Clark remains absent from team workouts despite earlier indications suggesting her participation was possible.
Look, that is what it is, and I think Sophie Cunningham's a person who, I think she wants to be booed. I think she wants to get booed. I think she likes being hated. I think she likes being that polarizing player where everybody loves you or hates you, which is a great position to be in when the team you are on is the team with the biggest fan base. Like, if you are on a team that has 75% of the WNBA fans and you are despised by the other 25% but loved by 75%, like, that is
The team initially described her status as uncertain for upcoming games, though this characterization proved inaccurate when Clark was officially ruled out. Clark continues to miss practice sessions, and head coach Stephanie White provided an update that raises questions about the timeline for her return. When asked about Clark's potential return to team activities, White confirmed there has been no progress toward resuming practice participation. The recovery process involves Clark gradually increasing her full contact running exercises while bearing her complete body weight. This particular phrasing from the coaching staff suggests significant caution in the rehabilitation approach.
Gotta say, and to see what the Indiana Fever front office has put out. So just like I stated, guys, this is a very concerning situation with this team. As we get closer to the playoffs, I don't want this to be an injury, but an injury thing, but it looked like this team is injury prone at this point. Even starting at the top with Caitlin getting hurt, man. Just not a good look, man. Okay, let's head on over here. Let's check out this article real quick that has been.
White explained that the progression starts with basic activities and slowly builds toward longer training periods. Clark has shown some improvement in court movement, but remains far from joining team practices. White emphasized that Clark is not close to returning to action, contradicting earlier suggestions about her availability. The situation became more confusing when various sports information systems displayed conflicting injury reports. Questions arose about the accuracy of injury reporting systems, with some suggesting that certain platforms use automated updates rather than verified team information.
That has been released. It says Indiana Fever provide updates on Sid Colson and Ari McDonald. The Indiana Fever announced today that guards Sidney Colson and Ari McDonald both will miss the remainder of the 2024-25 season. Damn, they done for the season, dog. The remainder of the 2024 season after injuries during the teams game last night. Colson sustained an interior.
However, official league sources also listed Clark with uncertain status, making it difficult to dismiss these reports as mere technical errors. The communication strategy surrounding Clark's injury has drawn criticism from observers who argue for more transparency. Unlike other injured players who receive specific evaluation timelines, Clark's situation remains deliberately vague. When other star players suffer injuries, teams typically announce re-evaluation periods, giving fans clear expectations about minimum absence durations. The Fever's approach differs significantly, maintaining day-to-day uncertainty without providing concrete timelines.
Colson sustained an anterior cruciate ligament ACL tear. Sydney into her ACL in her left knee during the first quarter of the game, while Ari McDonald suffered a broken bone in her right foot during the fourth quarter. My goodness, guys. This is bad. Really, really bad. Ari McDonald was giving us production. Ari McDonald was doing what she had to do to get us up to speed with everything.
This pattern has persisted for weeks, with the team making last-minute decisions about Clark's availability for games and events. The organization waited until immediately before the All-Star break to confirm her absence from festivities, and similar delayed announcements have become routine. Clark's injury history includes previous muscle-related issues, contradicting claims that this represents her first such problem. She has previously dealt with quadriceps and groin strains, making current suggestions about unfamiliarity with muscle injuries questionable. The medical evaluation process appears thorough, with imaging studies conducted after recent games showing minimal concerns.
To get us up to speed with everything, with Caitlin going out, Sidney Colson, Ari McDonald out for the season, bro. This is not good, guys, at all. Where is we gonna start? So Sophie Cunningham says she good after leaving the game with the left ankle injury, then returning, coming off the bench in the second half. She led the Fever with 18 points tonight. She balled out. Now, Stephanie White said it looked like a knee injury for Sidney Colson and the right foot for Ari McDonald.
However, this creates additional uncertainty since clear scans combined with ongoing symptoms present diagnostic challenges. Clark has been observed using supportive cushioning during games, indicating persistent discomfort. Medical experts note that rehabilitation timelines vary significantly between individuals, making precise predictions difficult. The team's approach focuses on monitoring Clark's response to treatment rather than following predetermined schedules. This individualized method, while medically sound, creates communication challenges with external audiences.
Said it looked like a knee injury for Sidney Colson and the right foot for Ari McDonald. So Ari is hurt. On our status, we'll get more evaluation when they get home. So Ari McDonald more than likely ain't going to play. And I got to be the one to tell you, look like the Indiana Fever could be signing another player. Basically, another hardship player could be on the way. Sidney Colson hurt. Ari McDonald hurt. Now we got to see who's available again at the point guard position. Again, we got to go through this again, y'all. This looked very
Different team members have provided conflicting signals about Clark's recovery progress. Some teammates have suggested her return is imminent, while coaching staff maintains that significant time remains before her availability. These mixed messages contribute to confusion among supporters and media observers. The increased attention on the Fever organization, largely attributed to Clark's presence, has elevated expectations for transparent communication.
Again, we got to go through this again, y'all. This looked very familiar to the month of June. I believe was it June when Caitlyn, Sid, who else was hurt? Sophie was hurt. This looked like June again. My goodness, another hardship player's on the way. Damn. Somebody said my freaking blood pressure is high.
The team's expanded fan base and media coverage create pressure for regular updates about star players' health status. Critics argue that supporters deserve clearer information about extended absences, especially when alternative approaches exist. Other organizations provide structured timelines even when exact return dates remain uncertain. The suggestion is that minimum absence periods could be communicated without compromising medical flexibility.
Somebody said my freaking blood pressure is high. I can't with these losses. I mean, tonight loss was ridiculous, guys. I mean, just downright ignorant. This was a downright ignorant loss. An embarrassment to the team, an embarrassment to the fan base. And I'm telling you right now, oh my God. Look at what the Phoenix Mercury admin just did. Look at what the Phoenix Mercury admin just did. Look at the Phoenix Mercury admin. Who do they got right there? DeWanna Bonner.
The contrast with injury management for other high-profile players highlights the unusual nature of the Fever's communication strategy. Standard practice involves announcing evaluation periods that establish baseline expectations while allowing for adjustments based on recovery progress. Current indications suggest Clark will miss additional games in the immediate future with no clear timeline for her return to practice activities. The situation represents a departure from typical injury management communication in professional sports, where clearer timelines are generally provided to manage expectations.
They got right there DeWanna Bonner in the damn air. Skating. Y'all haven't beat the Fever since 2023. Let's be serious. Look at this. On the planet Mercury, now you know. Now you know. Now you know, really, now you know, huh? Wow.
The ongoing uncertainty affects not only game planning, but also fan engagement and media coverage. The organization faces the challenge of balancing medical privacy with public interest in a marquee player's health status. Despite the communication challenges, medical professionals emphasize the importance of complete recovery before return to competition. The cautious approach, while frustrating for observers, prioritizes long-term health over immediate availability.